Good morning, Flosstube. This is Gem Stitch here for my October, November, December really update. Super late. I was meant to do this at the end of November and it's just been stupid busy, as it is for a lot of people this time of year. And yeah, so obviously I haven't managed to be able to do it, so I'm actually doing it in December, which is not ideal for me because I don't get a lot of time to do it, but I've dedicated this daytime to trying to upload this video and obviously bring you my updates and obviously my first lot of plans for January 2017. I'd just like to say, because I actually didn't say it in my last video and I don't like that. Hold on, because the cat, no does. No, I don't think so. No. Yeah, anyway, I really do appreciate all your comments, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back to a lot of them. I do try to go back and answer them if I can. No. And I really appreciate all of you that subscribe, and I have noticed my subscriptions as well, and that'll be something that I will look into, come up with a plan for next year, in January 2017 or early 2017. So, sorry, I'm watching my cat. As you can tell, I am in a different location, which isn't ideal considering how much I really want to kind of get done today. Whereas I know when I was in my bedroom, the lighting and the rest of it could, how much I could get done and what to expect. But this is now my craft room, so I have a designated craft area, or as my husband would put it, anything that belongs to you should be in this room because I don't want it all over the house, you know, that sort of thing. But this should be my little sanctuary. This was only completed like a week ago, so a lot of my stitchy time, I haven't got a lot of stitching done at all, and a lot of my stitchy time has been taken up with doing things like this. So not only socialising, oh how terrible, but not only socialising and Christmas and getting busier at work and all of those things, but also that I got to create this craft room. But it is a work in progress, so I'm hoping that the lighting is good. I know I'm at a slightly strange angle, I am at a desk, and I know that my light, as you can probably see from the reflection of the window, my light is actually over there. But obviously I want to try and get the best light as possible. So in a way this is a bit of a tester because I don't know until this uploads exactly what it's going to look like. So if you do have any problems with the lighting or hearing me, I am trying to speak loudly, then please let me know and hopefully I can rectify that for you. Obviously it will be in the realms of my ability to do that, which when it comes to technology isn't very high, as we may have established, but obviously of course I'll try to do my best. So anyway, straight to the stitching rather than rattling on, or lack thereof. So what I'm actually going to do is that potentially what I'd like to do is split this into two videos. I always do a year in review video, and although I think it's a good idea to do it in January, I've decided that actually I'm going to try and do it, as it's so late, try and do it in December for my year 2016 review. So it will be a 2016 year review. This won't be this video. This will just be a normal whip update. So it'll be talking about what I've been up to since the last time I spoke to you, and what I intend to do in January now. So yeah, so I believe that that is all that I need to cover. So let's get started. So the last time I actually spoke to you was late in October. I had the hairy leg scenario, which is just as a quickly, it's not my hairy legs, was my brother's Halloween costume, which I needed to get completed. I did get that completed, and I will insert a picture of the actual finished outfit, because the only picture I inserted was where there was half finished. So I'll insert a picture. I will cut him off because I didn't ask if I could put his picture up, but I'm sure you would be quite talented to be able to figure out who he was just by the bottom half of him. I will insert a picture here of the finished Halloween legs, so I'll do that now. So yeah, he was really pleased with them. He got a lot of compliments and things, which is great, and he's intending to use them again for other Halloween outfits and things like that. So they'll get reused, which is good. But in October, I follow the Stitch Mania sales on Facebook, and it was Baps and Smalls, we love them all. And I chose to do my largest, not necessarily in size, but with the amount of stitching, my largest works in progress, which was Creation by Tempting Tangles. So if you hold on a second, because I've got all my stuff here. I don't know how much glare there'll be. This is the finished piece. So this is Creation by Tempting Tangles. Beautiful piece of work. It has got it's got quite a few speciality stitches in it. But yeah, it's a beautiful piece. All charted in DMC. And I didn't actually, I'm showing it to you, but I didn't actually get any more stitching done on it from the last time that you see it. But it was on a scroll frame, so now you'll sort of see the piece hopefully off of the scroll frame. So let me just, it's like you get out of practice. It's mad, isn't it? It's not even been that long. That's it. So this is it, the piece in its entirety. So as you can see, I still have the waves to do at the bottom, and they go all the way to the end where that little checkered line is. I really love this piece. Every time I look at it, I love I would have bought the piece as art, so to actually get the opportunity to stitch it is great. My stitches aren't perfect, but it's all part of a learning process, and I am enjoying that process, probably more than I thought I would, because although doing new stitches does make me slightly anxious, and it obviously slows you down in stitching. It's not a race, but equally after you've achieved something you feel very accomplished with it, so you're kind of like, yay me. And that piece makes me feel like that. So sometimes even when I feel a little bit overwhelmed with it, once I start working on it, I sort of re-fall in love with it again. It's one of those pieces. So that won't be worked on now until next year. But yeah, so that's my creation, and that's where I'm at, and at least you got to see sort of the whole thing to where I was at compared to on the scroll bars. So for November and December, I actually always I leave that for my Christmas time stitching, a Christmas piece, because of how little stitching I actually get done. Now, even for me, I've really not had a lot of time to stitch, so there should be more done than there actually is. But because I finished my Christmas piece from last year in the middle of this year, I got to start a new piece. So the new piece that I was working on, sorry Russell, the new piece that I was working on is the cuore batticuore, and it's Sweet Christmas. So this is one of my favourite, as you probably know, this is one of my favourite designers at the moment. I've got a lot of their charts. I've already started and was working on a piece earlier in the year called Summer Garden, and obviously I've decided to start this one too. So yeah, so this is the piece. Now, as discussed in my last video, I was planning on working it on 32 count fabric, and it's called silver raw, so it's a raw coloured linen, but it has a silver fleck running through it. And I thought that I might be, because of the sparkles, it might slightly affect my eyes or whatever in stitching and slow me up. Actually, no, not. Once I got used to it, it was absolutely fine. So yeah, I'll show you where it is. Also, this is a fat quarter, and I didn't really want to stitch it on anything larger than that. I know I'm not going to frame it. Now, I was toying with different ideas as to what the finished piece, when it is finished, will be, but I know I'm not going to frame it because I just don't have room to hang pictures just for Christmas in my house. So but I could possibly do a wall hanging of some description, or I was thinking about maybe turning it into like a decorative sweet sack. It is actually a lot larger than I thought it would be. I don't know why I didn't think it would be if it just fit on a fat quarter, but it's a lot larger than I thought it would be, but it is still very pretty. So this is where I'm at, and I started this, I think I started it on the 2nd of November because I couldn't stitch on the 1st. It's a little bit creased, but this is where I've got to so far. Considering it's the 9th of December, it's pretty poor, I'm afraid. But yeah, so there's a lot of white stitches in this piece, obviously, and I'm not a huge fan of stitching with white, but I do really like the effect that it's having on the raw linen. I also swapped out 2 of the recommended threads, which I discussed in my other video. All this information I will put down in the information box below. Now, I did have a comment, and I wasn't quite sure what she was referring to, as in about the information box, and I'm really technophobe, borderline technophobe, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. But just to cover it again, if you're wondering how to put the information in the information box, I do that while I upload the video. Because as it's uploaded onto YouTube, it actually says description, and I write all my information in there. I do believe though that you can go back even when the video's up and add to that description, or alter or edit it, so you could do that after. If you was looking for the information, like as if you're watching someone's video and you want to see where they've put that information, then underneath the video you would normally have the title of the video, and there's a little upside down triangle. Now, depending on what device you're using, whether you click on it or push on it, that upside down triangle almost expands the space, the information, and all that information that I'm referring to, as into fabrics, if I've swapped anything out, if I've used more than one skein of something, will be written in there. But of course, it's not a problem if you've got any questions, or you can't access it for whatever reason. Just leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I know I've not been very quick at it recently, but I do try to leave a comment for everybody. So yes, so anyway, this is on 32 count silver, raw silver linen. This is the sort of what I've got left. So actually it's a little bit more than what I thought I would have. I always overestimate, guesstimate, just to make sure. So it's a little bit more room than I thought I would have, but it would be pushing it depending on how close you want it to frame. So, but here is Sweet Christmas. I'm hoping the light is good for you. And yeah, obviously it's an opalescent. It has like a silver sparkle all the way through it. I have, for my birthday last year, my husband bought me a fat quarter of the silver raw, a fat quarter of the gold raw, and a fat quarter of the opalescent. So the opalescent has it's not multicoloured, but it does have more coloured flecks in it, whereas this is obviously silver and the gold obviously looks more gold. I can, if you want to, just request, and I'll put it in the next video, the 3, but if I don't know how the lighting is here, so if you can't see it, it won't make much of a difference. I'll try and play around with it for you. But yeah, like I said, just let me know in any of the comments if you've got any problems with the lighting or you can't see. I have actually got like an LED light, and I haven't turned it on because I don't want it to be like, woo, too much light, but I may have to after if you can't see this. So that's that. So that comes to, so that will be worked on, my cuore batticuore Sweet Christmas will be worked on all the way till the 1st of January. Now on the 1st of January I intend to do a New Year, New Start, and for me I want to try and do the Nora Core bits, whether that be the Pixie Coutures or the Bewitching Pixies, the Black Forest Pixies. And I must admit there's something going on with mermaids with me at the moment, although I haven't actually stitched one or planned to stitch one anytime soon, but I'm really drawn to them. But sometimes that happens, doesn't it? But yeah, so she released 2 mermaids recently as well, 2 smaller ones. So anyway, going back, not on a tangent, my plan of action, New Year, New Start, is to stitch a Nora Core bit Pixie again, like I did this year, and I finished it this year. I'd like to do another one. So, project bag, tutorial, Vonna Pfeiffer. I will say it every time I say it, but I'm still haven't actually made any more project bags, so I need to get cracking with that one, because I have got some projects that are just in little folders and it's a bit sad, little plastic folders. Right, so actually guys, I could really do with your help with this. I intend to stitch Nora Core bits Tulip Pixie. Now I have all the threads, the beads, everything, and I actually excuse me, I actually already had these before I truly intended to stitch it, so it actually didn't cost me hardly anything to kit it up, I don't believe. I already had them. But yeah, so this is the Tulip Pixie. Now, you know what I'm like with colour. I'm extreme. You've seen Creation, you've seen the Cuore Batticuore. I like very vintage or recreation sampler styles, and I like them traditional, although the Creation is a little bit more arty, which is what drew me to it, and it's very different. I like that style. I also like the shabby chic style, which is definitely Cuore Batticuore, and the continental shabby chic. But I love colour, and I just feel that with these designs, particularly these Nora Core bit Pixies or Fairies or Witches or whatever, they're so colourful, and I like playing with colour. So I wouldn't necessarily, and they're beautiful. In most occasions, they are all beautiful, and your choices of fabric are a constant inspiration to me. But I do like being risky with colour as well, and colour combinations. And this is my little sort of rebel bit, really, where I really play with colour, compared to a lot of my larger pieces are very sort of, well, what's the word? Not sticking to the rules, but kind of that way. So, looking at the colours, which are burnt oranges, sort of deep purples with like a hint of pink, purpley pink. There's 2 fabric choices. One's possibly, I mean, you might look at both of them and go, they're a bit brave on both accounts, but one's a little bit darker than the other. And I honestly would love your opinion on what you feel the best one would be for me to stitch on, and I will definitely take it into account. So my first option, have a look, see, looking at the colours. So my first option, I might actually take that out. This is a Sparklies fabric and it is stunning. It's called Ocean Depths, and it is almost like, I don't know whether the light's actually going to catch that properly. It's slightly making it a bit blue. This is, think emerald green is actually the colourway on this one. It is beautiful. And so it's much more emerald green than the grey blues that you're seeing. And I thought that on that the colours would look great. Now the kind of, not issue, because I love the colours on this, is that she's the Tulip Pixie, and this is quite dark, this fabric. It's moody, which is why I love it. It's a beautiful piece of fabric, and although it will bring out her colours, and she does look like she's doing a bit of a flamenco dance in there, it will bring out her colours beautifully. I'm not 100% sure whether that possibly suits the subject, being that she's the Tulip Pixie. So my other option, if you could bear with me, I'm just going to, oh sorry, don't look at my fabric stash. I hide it. My other option is still bright, and I think this would go. This is again another Sparklies fabric, huge fan, and it's washing it out a little bit. It's actually more, think turquoise blue. Let me just see if, that's better. You're probably thinking, why didn't you turn the light on sooner? But sorry about that. It's turquoise blue. I do believe it will go. With this also, and I do believe that this will really bring out the colours. So I have two options. Let's see if I can do this without making this look really difficult. You've got Ocean Depths, which is here. You've got Caribbean Blue, which is here. And that's what I'm going to stitch. So I'd really appreciate your opinion on either Ocean Depths or Caribbean Blue. And you'll find out in my next update, which will be in January, what one I actually went for in the end. So yeah, that's right. I'm going to enjoy it no matter which fabric it's on, but it's just something nagging in the back of my head about the Ocean Depths. But I'm so excited to work on it. But I'd enjoy working on the Caribbean Blue, which is why I'm putting it to the vote for you guys that watch my videos. So yeah. So that's my New Year, New Start, and hopefully I'll start that on the 1st of January. Who knows for certain, but the 1st of January is when that will be started. Now, for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I actually did a piece called, I called it the Bethany Sampler, but it was actually ABC Patisser by Blackberry, like that, Parisiennes. It was this piece. Yeah. Obviously I didn't do the whole piece. I stitched the name Bethany out of this piece. And and I'd finished it and I had to get it framed, and I had a bit of a drama with the framing because I went and bought a frame not really thinking ahead at the time of how long it was going to be. I went and bought a frame from IKEA, but that would have meant that it would have been, there would be no, it would literally like not squish the stitches but cover up some of the stitches, and I wasn't sure that I wanted it that tight. But because of the length of it, I was still struggling to find a frame long enough. Now I did find a frame. I actually got it from a photo shop online. Not Photoshop as in when you alter images, as in like, sorry, camera picture shop, traditional online. And I will leave the information for the people in the UK because actually I thought it was quite a reasonable price that I paid for this. The service was excellent, and like, you know, no quibbles, no problems. So yeah, I would definitely recommend them, to the point that I've actually saved them because for future reference I'm going to go and have a look. They had a lot of frames. What it was, they had a lot of frames for standard size photos, and obviously this one had, like, I think it worked out 3 photos going down, sort of like this. But they weren't the small traditional photo size, they were slightly larger, and it was meant to hold those, which worked out perfect for me because by the time I'd measured it, that actually worked out for me. They do frames like that where they, you know, it's just a good website. So I'm going to put it down. There is still some of the stitching by like half a stitch is slightly covered, but you know what, I've seriously run out of time. So I did manage to frame this just before the end of November, and this is the result. I'm hoping I didn't put museum glass in it or anything like that. So you can see it's up close to the stitching, but considering that I've got all this space, I just feel that it worked out okay in the end. And this frame is like a rough wood frame. See, if I'd used the IKEA frame, I would have had this happen, but it also would have been right up here as well, and I would have missed stitches down here. It was just so tight that at least it's got room at the top and the bottom. So yes, that needs to be bubble wrapped, and sorry, I want to lean it down flat gently. That needs to be bubble wrapped and wrapped up for Christmas, for my husband's cousin's baby, who will nearly be 1 in January, and that's why I started it almost like a birth sampler but without all the added details. I decided to just go with her name. So I think as a whip update and for my plan of actions of what's been going on and with me and everything else and what I've been up to, that is it, guys. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's been supportive over this last year. I really do appreciate your comments. I love being part of this community. Your inspiration constantly inspires me. And I really do enjoy sharing, getting the opportunity to share that with you guys. So yes, I'd like to thank you all for another year on Flosstube. I think this is my 3rd, it's like 2.5 years now I've been on Flosstube. But I'd like to thank you all, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, then happy holiday season. And I wish you all the best, and I wish you a very happy new year. And I look forward to seeing you in 2017. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.